Glass FM, your number one radio station.
Okay, as you are watching us right about this time, I want to tell you something that this is 2023. Happy New Year to you. Always keep a positive mindset on each and everything you do.
Yeah, this is Glass FM making a difference. Yeah, it's 2023 and we have a whole lot in stock for you. Just keep staying tuned to us and we'll be here for you.
And I want to tell you, in case you are listening to us on your audio note, this is the video. And then I'm your humble radio boy, Rocketing, your radio crush, and your mic hurricane, or you can call me the radio Zeus. Yes, I'm your radio flirt as well.
Yeah, as you remain your radio girl, Sunday, Nanmini Rejoice.
We are angelic voice, and then this 2023, we're doing mighty and great things. Believe us.
Hello J-Town, hello West Africa, how you all doing today? It's your number one radio station, Glass FM, making a difference, oh yeah. And this is the Hat and Flicks, yes you heard me right, the Hat and Flicks show with your, before I even say with your, before I introduce myself, I'd love to give you guys a new introduction. Yes, when you talk about resilience, you call my name. When you talk about hard work, you call my name. I'm a product of hard work and I am a product of resilience, and I am no other than Kate the E to the LLY, Kelly the Psalmist. How you all doing today, fam? This is the Hat and Flick show, the 7th edition. Yes, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but the 7th edition. Thanks to God for life. Thanks to God for giving us the opportunity to offer you the 7th edition of the Hat and Flick show. And I made a mistake last week. Not just last week, subsequent editions, I've been saying the relationship segment. Actually not the relationship segment, it's the heart segment. You heard me right, it's the heart segment where we talk about the matters of the heart, where we talk about the issues of the heart. Like they say, the matters of the heart are the heart of the matters of the heart are the heart of the matter, and the issues of the heart are the heart of the issues, yes, as you might call them. So this is the heart segment, and I've been calling the relationship segment, so forgive me for that error, for that continuous error. So this is the heart segment, and last week we spoke about betrayal and trust, and I didn't really elaborate on that because I was kind of emotional, kind of annoyed due to several things that have been happening of late and I've been seeing online. But we'll be talking about betrayal and we'll be talking about trust in the heart segment once we take a message from Glass FM. But before that, I want to ask you, how you all doing today? Forgive me for my manners. How you all doing, my dear listeners? For those in Jaws, how are you surviving with the cold? Hope you're under a sweater, hope you're under a jacket. Please do not play with this cold. Pneumonia is real. And for those listening to us all over the world, how's the winter, how's the summer, and everything, how's the weather? Hope you are staying glued to Glass FM because we are making a difference and we are here to serve you better. So once we take a message from Glass FM, we'll be right back to talk on the heart segment. Stay.
Our goal is to create a society with moral and godly standards by using the influence of our well-built programs to pass the right message. Glass FM, your number one radio station.
Welcome from that short musical interlude, or like I say commercial break. That was actually a commercial break. That was actually a timeout from Glass FM, the message from Glass FM. And like I said earlier, we're going to elaborate, we're going to expatiate, we're going to hammer on betrayal. Yes, you heard me right. What is betrayal? We spoke about that last week. Now we're talking about the 10 reasons why people trust, and then the experiences people get when they get betrayed. Now, one good thing about trust is that trust creates psychological safety. Yes, that's one importance of trust. Trust creates psychological safety. In fact, according to Dr. Amy Edmondson, a professor at Harvard Business School, She describes psychological safety as the ability to be yourself without fear of negative consequences. You heard me right. The ability to be yourself without fear of negative consequences. Just like a child-to-parent relationship. The child is able to say how he or she feels to the parent, knowing fully well that despite what he or she says, she'll still be loved, or he'll still be loved by the parent. That's one thing about trust. Psychological safety even happens between the child and the parent. And also, even in working environments, you're able to say things without being shushed on, without your anybody having to shut you down, or it having to cost your reputation or your job if it's a working environment, or if it's a personal relationship, your relationship with that particular person. So trust creates a psychological safety. That's one good reason and one importance of trust. Another reason why trust is important is because it encourages questioning and risk-taking. Believe me, when there are questions, when you have the opportunity to have questions, you have the privilege to ask questions, it creates room for clarity. And that's one good thing about trust. You have that room for clarity, that room to understand what is actually going on, that room to ask questions and say, how far, what is happening here, how do we get to do this, what is actually happening, how do I get involved, once you begin to ask questions, you begin to understand better. That's one good thing about trust. It gives you that opportunity, that room to ask questions. In fact, they say people can express their concerns, ask for what they want, and question decisions. Very well, question decisions that are made, knowing fully well that when you question those decisions, it will still affect you at the end of the day. That's one good thing about trust. Another good thing about trust is that it improves proper communication. That's one thing I've always noticed, and I'm still noticing with a whole lot of youth these days. The ability to express themselves is really a problem. The ability to say how I feel, how it's doing me, or if it's pidgin, how they do me, is really a problem. People don't really want to express themselves. There's no room for communication. And when there's no room for communication, there's a breach, there's a gap, and it can go a long way in destroying relationships. Being in a work environment, be the personal relationship, it has a way of affecting people. So there needs to be room for communication. Let people iron out what they want to say. Drop that phone and tell that person how you feel, how it's going on with you. That's one good thing about trust. It gives you room to communicate how you feel to a person or to a people. That's one good thing about trust, be it in the working environment or be it a personal relationship. Another thing about trust is that it promotes self-confidence. I assure you, when you see trust people that are experiencing or living in a trustworthy environment, you see that most of them have that self-confidence, that ability to say what they know. I remember I said communication, proper communication. This proper communication will lead to self-confidence. When you know that if I say this thing, nobody's going to hush me down. When I say this, nobody will say, why do you say that thing? But when I say this thing, everybody's going to sit down, understand why I said so and why I did so. That's one good thing about it. In fact, they say environments where there isn't trust, a person can rely on others to respect their opinions and value. That's very true. The moment when you see nobody wants to give room to say your opinion, you begin to rely on others. I beg, help me to say this. Please help me to say this. You don't have a mind of your own. You are not decisive. That's one problem with not having self-confidence. But once you have self-confidence, once you have trust, it promotes your self-confidence. Another thing is trust reduces stress. Believe me, when there's trust, there are several things you don't need to bother yourself about, whether it's in the workplace or a personal relationship. A lack of trust can be emotionally exhausting. I can tell you out of experience. I'll tell you, it's emotionally, in fact, did they say emotionally? It's spiritually exhausting. It's very, very exhausting. I'll tell you that. And finally, trust increases optimism. I can tell you that. When I started my life, I really met a lot of wrong people, and those wrong people I met affected the way I saw things. I became pessimistic. But the moment I met the right people, seriously, the way I viewed life and the way I'm viewing life now has really changed. I've become, in fact, sometimes I feel like I'm one of the most optimistic people in the world. Not that I'm trying to praise myself, but there are certain things I see and I say, no matter how hard it is, I know I'm going to pass through this situation. That's because of a trustworthy environment. That's because you have trustworthy people around you. Trust increases optimism. You always know, no matter what happens, come rain, sunshine, you're going to get out of this situation. And they say, if you look at someone who is identified as a pessimist, odds are they have not experienced a lot of relationship or environments with trust, which I said earlier. I experienced that, but the moment I'll say is God. It's one thing that can also help you in this situation of trust is God. He will really help you to know the right people that are able to take you to where you need to be. Now, the next thing is betrayal. In fact, in case you don't know, for those of us who have read scripture, hope you know that betrayal is one of In fact, when you look at Judas Iscariot, somebody say Judas Iscariot. Judas Iscariot is seen as one of the most famous betrayals of all time. Imagine kissing someone. Like, sometimes I read scriptures and I'm like, he kissed? Like, do you know? No, you betrayed me, oh, fine. Then you hugged me one, then you gave me a kiss. But Jesus was a very calm guy. Jesus is a cool person, very cool person. And that's why he said, be gentle as a dove. Believe me, it was some of us. Some people will make sure they catch that mouth. But that's on the lighter note. So now we're talking about some of the things people who get betrayed feel like. Now, one thing about this betrayal is that you experience loss. I'll show you that you experience loss. You experience this emptiness, this vacuum. Things are not just, you just get devastated. In fact, once betrayal is one among the most devastating losses a person can experience. Believe me, we live in a culture that is blind to betrayal and intolerant of emotional pain. Our world today, do people even know, do people even value trust? People just do things anyhow. People just, our world these days. In fact, this is why I brought this topic last week. Since last week, I've been hammering on this betrayal and trust. But today, I decided to take it very deep, in fact, deeper, because this generation does not understand what is trust. So this, if you are listening to this show and you are part of the 21st century, this show is for you. This particular edition of Heart and Flicks is for you. So if you are not tuning in now, if you lost me, maybe if you can wait for a repeat broadcast and you go back and you listen again, because this is very important. Betrayal and trust. Now, they say one thing about people who have been betrayed is that they experience loss. Another thing that it hurts like hell. Hey, you begin to want, this person, somebody that I love, some people say, someone that we used to drink Gary together. So that used to drink Gary together. So you could do this to me, you can do this to me. That's why I always tell people, let the number one person you trust be God. Believe me, because humans can turn to anything, any day, anytime. Let God be the reason of let God be the let God give you purpose. Live a purposeful life. When your life is being lived under the umbrella of God, believe me, He will guide you and He will make you to know the right people and work with the right people. Because if you meet the wrong people, I'm telling you out of experience, it hurts like hell. It hurts like, you'll be like, this person. But it happens. It's life. It's like if Satan could do that to God. If Satan, despite how God highly placed him, if he was the most the most highly placed angel in heaven, but still he had to rebel against God. That's to show that there's nothing any man can do that should really surprise you. It brews our anger. That's one thing about betrayal. It brews anger. It makes you feel bad. It makes you. In fact, that anger, if not controlled, if you don't have the right counselors, the right people to put you on track, you will really, really do a lot of harm. Another thing is illusion. You begin to think about things that are not there. You begin to create a reality that is outside reality. That's one thing about betrayal. Now, forgive but not forget. See me here. I cannot forget to. Let me tell you the truth. If you are listening to me right now, do not forget. It's good to forgive. When Satan rebelled against God, I tried to tell him that God has not forgiven Satan. He has forgiven him. But where is he? There's hellfire. There are consequences. You understand? So when you go through some certain experiences in life, to make sure you don't repeat them again, please do not forget. Because if you forget, it will be happening to you. It will be reoccurring. To be a reoccurring decimal in your life. So I'm telling you something that is very, very realistic. Now, lastly is that you struggle to trust. I'm telling you, struggle to trust. You are very selective of the people around you. You want to. In fact, for me, I feel at this point in time, people have to earn your trust because you've gone through a whole lot of experiences. And if you are that kind of person, believe me, you are not alone. There are several of us that have been there. And I want to tell you that the Lord is going to help you to pass through that stage. But just make sure it doesn't become a habit where you start having trust issues. But that you should have that. I'm saying you have trust issues doesn't mean you shouldn't look at the kind of people that want to come into your life. You understand me? So this is what we have for you on betrayal and trust. I had to take time to actually break down everything for you. Last week I spoke I was very annoyed on the show, so I had to bring it here. But believe me, I talking to you right now, Kelly Desam is a product of betrayal, and I'm also a product of trust. So when someone tells you when we're experiencing betrayal, remember that Kelly right here is boldly talking to you and coming out from that darkness, from that pit of betrayal to a value of trust. It wasn't easy, but here we are. So believe me, you can come out from that situation. I know it's painful. It's painful. Like I said earlier, it hurts like hell. It hurts. That's why there's a God there to help you grow, to help you come out from that situation. So I've spoken a whole lot, and we need to head to the movie segment. I told you we're going to be talking about the box office. Yes, the box office. What's happening in the Nigerian box office? Which movie topped the box office in 2022? Now we're in 2023. Which movie topped the box office in 2022? We get to find that out. And if you have a soundtrack of that movie, we'll play it for you. So stay. It's still Glass FM. We'll be right back.
Glass FM, your number one radio station.
Welcome to Buka Street, the food headquarters of Otawa community.
I hope so that they enjoy it. My mama cook am now, Neo.
I'm like this way. Faster, you know the pain, no. Life is about competition. When one person take one step,
You take another step ahead of that person.
I have said nobody should fight in this family again, and I mean every word of it.
I'm a gifted singer who has to bury his talent because I have nowhere to showcase it.
if you call your team better, you start from there.
Father killed a man.
I didn't do anything. I'm a bad person. I didn't even make a face, mommy. Oh, Ajaju, you must be one of our new neighbors, right?
Mba, I'm the old one.
Look at you. You think you can disgrace me in front of mommy? It won't work.
Wajade. Why see you will go spiritual?
I'm ready for them. This time, fire for fire.
This is what you're hiding. And you know what these people have done to us in this Ottawa community? Bottling shops, making our lives miserable.
This is very sad. You just want to continue your competition with Auntie Yejide and her mother.
Whatever you do, you better win.
Why?
Because mommy said so.
What the hell there? There will still be time for you and your masquerades to perform.
Welcome from that trailer break, and like I said, we're giving some of the movies that topped the box office in 2022. Now we had The Brotherhood. The Brotherhood topped the box office in Nollywood, and it grossed about 200 million naira. Yes, yeah, 200 million naira. Now, Nollywood is growing. I'm proud of this country. I'm proud of this industry. Even though I know 200 million naira in Hollywood, Hollywood movies. In fact, this 200 million naira should not be. I don't think it should be more than, let me say, for up to $400,000 or so. But you go abroad, you see movies earning $200 million. In fact, the money that the movies earn in Hollywood, if you convert that to Nigerian currency, our budget, I'm not sure it's even reach up to 3 of that money. So that's what we have. So in the box office, we had Brotherhood, which got about 200 million naira, followed by Buka Street, if I'm correct. Yes, Buka Street. That was by, what do you call her? Funke Akindele. Now, Funke Akindele is one lady. I don't know how she handles the box office, but she's a queen. She's a queen. How she manipulates the box office is really surprising. Her previous film, Omo Ghetto, was worth about $600 million. In fact, it got 600 million naira. 600 million naira in the box office, as it goes as the highest grossing movie ever in Nigerian history right now. It's currently the highest grossing movie in Nigeria, Omo Ghetto. Now she came with this Buka Street. And wait, I'm calling Buka Street. Battle on Buka Street. Battle on Buka Street. And this movie finished second. As the second, you hear me right? As the second highest grossing film of the year. As the second highest grossing film of the year. As it stands now, some people say the movie has grossed about 360 something million naira. That's for Battle on Buka Street. I don't know how she does it. She understands the box office. I don't know. So I read some comments somewhere. People say she's a goat. Funke Akindele, she knows the business of film, and I want to say thumbs up to you, ma, wherever you are. Thumbs up to you. This is impressive, really impressive. So that's the Battle of Buka Street, and we played you the trailer on the break. And now some of the movies that will be coming out. Some of the movies that will be coming out. Listen, some of the movies that will be coming out this year in Nollywood. okay, we have some films coming out this year, this month, January, and also this year in 2023. And when you're talking about Nollywood, we have Shantytown. It will be coming out 20th of January. You heard me right. It's coming out 20th of January. 20th of January. That's next week. It will be coming out. It's a Chichi Nwora production. I called that right. Chichi Nwora production, and it's coming out January 20th, 2023. And the Dimeji Ajibola series title depicts a gang of courtesans who strive to flee the clutches of an infamous kingpin. But political corruption and blood ties make liberation a near impossible aim. Now, get to hear this. My actors in this film. Chidi Mokim. If you know Chidi Mokim is good with action films. He has that action vibe. You have RMD. You have Iniedo, Insepeti. Uche Jumbo. These are top class Nollywood actors. Shafi Bello. Are you playing? Shola Sobowale, King of Boys. Zubi Michael, Tony Abraham, Nancy Sime, Blood Sisters, Lillian Afe, Paul Okoye, that's of P Square, Regina Daniels, Ali Nuhu, you know Ali, Slim Case, Messi K. These are some of the actors, not all, acting in this Shantytown. It will be coming out. The trailer is already out. Believe me, the trailer is already out. And then we have Nigerian Trade. Jade Osiberu, the lady who directed Isoken, actually did this movie, The Nigerian Trade, and it's talking about a thorough investigation of kidnapping for ransom in Nigeria. Yes, how kidnapping and everything, the kidnapping and the ransom thing goes on in Nigeria. That's what this movie, Nigerian Trade, is talking about. It was written by our award-winning screenwriter Yinka Ogun. Yes, Yinka Ogun. And then the next, which is the one I'm anticipating amongst all these movies, Hijack 93/The Six. In fact, The Six. Play Network Studios announced its 2023/2024 project, which included one classic remake, a sequel, 2 biopics, and original stories. One of which is Hijack 93, which is based on the hijack of the 1993 Nigerian Airways plane. If most of you remember the 1993 hijack. The studio will also be releasing its first original, The Six, which is set to follow the story of the mysterious charismatic cult leader Richard Williams, played by Ramsey Noah. Do you remember he was sitting on that plane with his coffee, with his suit? Please continue it for us. Play Network. We're waiting for a continuity of that particular film. We're waiting for a sequel to that film. I have spoken a lot. I've spoken a lot on this show. That's to show you my love for you guys on this show, and I've even exceeded my time. So guys, I'll be leaving at this point in time, hoping that next week we'll be so filled with a whole lot of packages. And before I go, I'm going to give our social media handles. On Facebook is at Glass FM Radio Station. On Twitter is at Glass_FM. On Instagram is at Glass FM Radio Station. You want to email us, you want to tell us what is going on about the show, you want to have business with us or something, you can email us at glassfm.tv@gmail.com. Yes, glassfm.tv@gmail.com. Then you want to call us, you want to have a business, they want to give us some updates. You want to reach out to our marketing manager, whosoever you want to reach out to. You want them to take you to our conference room so that you understand, you want to buy some slots or whatever. You can call us on +234 81 288 03452. I'll take it again. +234 81 288 03452. That's all I have for you today on the Heart and Flicks show. Hoping to see you next week Saturday. I love you all. Bye bye.
Glass FM, your #1 radio station.